Hello and welcome to Khmer Times Crosstalk. I'm Mon Vantay. Today we are exploring how Cambodia can graduate from a least developed country to a middle income country status while confronting some of the world's most intense climate change pressure. This is a major issue that's shaping the future of Cambodian development. It is a moment full of risk but also opportunities. To help us understand what's at stake and how UNDP is working on the ground to support Cambodia through this journey, we are joined by Ms. Wignaraja, the United Nations Assistant Secretary General and UNDP Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific. Ms. Wignaraja, thank you very much for joining me on Khmer Times Crosstalk. You just returned from field visit, where you met with local communities, engaged in conversation with them, and climate resilient efforts. Can you share what your thoughts and your experience?
For me, this is a repeat visit to Cambodia. It is the first time, though, in Siem Reap province, I was able to actually go into some of the national parks and forested areas, speak to communities who live on these lands, and understand from them how they are managing to protect these valuable forestry assets, regenerate lost forest, and at the same time find livelihood economically viable. And I think for me, that sense that the community had, that these are precious and highly valued assets of the country, that they are responsible to protect and manage, but at the same time, that they could actually see that they could have good jobs and earn a good income from doing this. To me, that was so inspiring because this is what the country and the world needs.
Cambodia is often described as highly vulnerable to climate change. Based on what you have seen, how serious are these risks, and should Cambodia prioritize addressing them?
You know, the impacts of climate change, I think in our region, I cover Asia Pacific, and I see in this belt along the Mekong increasing shocks because of climate change, natural disasters, a lot of loss of livelihoods, but lives sometimes, with the flooding and the fires. So it is serious, it is very serious, and the country correctly, the leadership has put a lot of effort and attention to look at this. I think what the country shows and will continue to show is that there is a path to prosperity that is good for more Cambodians, without contradiction that we have to mitigate and adapt to climate change. Now, for Cambodia, it is not a high emission country, but it has the effects of warming, global warming and the planet warming. The seas are rising. However, there are a lot of things that it can do, which is to make sure that it protects its forest cover and its mangroves, which are so important. But also things like increasing investment in circular economy, in renewable energy, in protecting water sources, because that is critical. And here, hydropower is the lifeblood, right, of providing power to the country. And ocean plastics and removing plastic waste, these are areas which there is strong commitment, very good legislation. The issue now is, can the country, government, but also private sector and communities coming together with international partners like UNDP to say, we have to make sure we make a change through doing all of this together. You can't just attack this from one side. You have to do a more integrated approach to managing these issues.
And what happens if we don't take action according to UNDP?
Well, you know, our analysis, but also practically, we have been in this country now for over 50 years. Cambodia has to stay competitive in the global market, especially today. It's a highly competitive world out there. But it also has to protect its own natural assets. And importantly, it's a very young country. And UNDP's human development analysis shows that for Cambodia to do well and improve, it has to manage its economy together with its governance systems that embeds the climate issues, nature issues in there, not separately, but as part of national development strategy. So we're very proud to have supported the NDC 3.0 that the Cambodian leadership just presented at Belém at the COP. And now we will work with the Ministry of Finance and Economy, Ministry of Environment, many other, CDC, Ministry of Planning, to make sure this is part of Cambodia's not just vision, but implementation going forward.
If we consider an average Cambodian, for example, like tuk-tuk driver or factory worker, why would they care about climate change when they are just thinking about how to get by from day to day? Like many people think about their next meal.
Because that's exactly why. Because it will affect and is already affecting each person's lives and livelihoods. So if you're a tuk-tuk driver and you are driving in the middle of a lot of air pollution, it's affecting your health and your children's health. If you are driving a tuk-tuk that is run by petrol, you are seeing your gas bill going up, right? If you can't afford to electrify your home or put at least 2 full nutritious meals on your table, because climate change is destroying a lot of the crops, the productivity, right? And so it affects the daily life of people. And that story, that narrative, that makes it important for every individual Cambodian. And remember that climate change impacts the most vulnerable first, right? So that is exactly why everyone should care about it, as much as they should care that the country has a strong economic plan, strong governance institutions, because without that you can't also address climate change. These are very interlinked, and for UNDP we don't work on these areas separately. I'm just coming from the Ministry of Health, where we're discussing with the minister how to support health management systems, to look at health insurance, health financing. It's very connected to climate, right? And very connected to economic reality and to the financing that should come to both the domestic financing and international financing as Cambodia looks to graduate from LDC status.
What can normal Cambodian do in order to help?
I think it's understanding the value of natural assets. It is encouraging as a society, as a community or a household to address issues of plastic pollution, air pollution, etc. It is about being very proud of the natural assets around you and making sure that is protected. It's making sure young Cambodia is skilled to be competitive in a new world where these things all come together. And importantly, and this is an area for also for further UN and UNDP support, it is to prepare for these shocks that we know will come, right? The better prepared a country is, and the more a country puts its people at the center of a response, the country will prosper as a whole. So this is why UNDP is very privileged and proud to be a partner in all of these areas that will see a post-LDC Cambodia really prosper.
Besides climate change, Cambodia is set to graduate from a least developed country (LDC) to middle income country by 2029. Many people think it will bring additional challenges for Cambodia. How do you see the LDC graduation impacting Cambodia?
For UNDP, we see this as an opportunity. I mean, of course there are challenges, but challenges will come no matter. The world is such that things are so interlinked that whether it's challenges on trade and exports, whether it's challenges because of natural disasters, whether it's bilateral or multilateral financing that is getting reduced, these will come. How well is a country prepared through its own systems, its capabilities, both people capabilities and institutional capabilities? So for UNDP, we have always looked at graduation from LDC status as an opportunity for the next generation of Cambodia to emerge strong. So from where we sit, we will support a lot of the strengthening of national systems, national institutions, people's skills and capabilities, so that the graduation transition is easier and the opportunities afforded by graduation, new markets, new products and services, that those ensure that Cambodia is competitive and will get a good deal in a post-LDC period.
How is UNDP supporting Cambodia in addressing climate change impact while also seizing the opportunities created by LDC graduation?
Well, this is what we discussed. It's the same issue. So I think on this one, it is exactly what I said before, that we will look to see how much Cambodia can increase its renewable energy area, and ensure that its climate mitigation metrics are strong, so that when it puts out its offer post-LDC to the world, the metrics are very strong, the standards are high, labor standards, environment standards are met, so that investment, both domestic investment and foreign direct investment, will flow to Cambodia because it's a good place to invest.
Based on what you have seen and observed during your visit, what reflection would you like to share? Well,
I am very hopeful, even amidst some of the concerns going on right now, obviously, that and our Secretary General has put out a very clear statement that at the center of prosperity and progress for any country, there must be peace and stability. And I think that is a critical message to all people, to all Cambodians, all countries around Cambodia, that countries will prosper together because these are shared issues. And you know, people are connected, and we should put a high value on making sure that people's security, people's lives, and the natural assets, the country's assets, on all sides of all borders are protected, and so that path to continue and regain peace is also the path to development, and that is what we hope as a UN and as UNDP for Cambodia.